Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another SnodaReel. I'm your host, Black Chef 56, and I am, of course, joined by the immortal, the forever gay, the undying, HungryHufflepuff.
How you doing, world?
Not good, but anyways. And, of course, we're also joined by the magnificent DJ Lionheart, a.k.a. Leon.
Hey, guys. How's it going? Other than chaos, because chaos.
Other than chaos, but chaos is chaos, and
Oh,
chaos is good. And of course, we're also joined by a new face that you might want to get used to. What is it? It's Watsonandoff.
Watsonandoff.
Watsonandoff. Okay, Watsonandoff.
I get
AKA
it.
John.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
No,
It's
John
John.
Watson. Hey.
Hey, John Watson. Haha.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I thought it was clever when I came up with it, but the more I live with it, the more I think, oh, this might be stupid.
Oh, you want to know what
It's
my
not.
original name was before this? My original name was Your Friendly Advice 30.
Mm.
Thank God I shortened that because this was
Yeah.
originally my gamer tag. Yeah, I shortened that a long time ago, and I'm so happy I did.
Yeah.
But the topic for tonight is what movie had the best playlist? I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. There's a shitload in there. I could argue Baby Driver. I could argue any of the Guardians films.
Okay, Baby Driver was kind of built around the music. If you want to,
So was any of the
Hear me out.
Guardians films.
okay. So the premise of Baby Driver was that the driver uses the music to help him focus, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's fair.
So it was built around the music along the same lines as Mamma Mia. If you want to think about it.
There's a couple of musicals
Yeah.
that I could definitely throw in there as well. Yeah.
One of my favorites has to be, musical-wise, has to be Newsies. That is one of my
Newsies has
favorites.
really good music. I will agree.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd also has really good music as well.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can agree.
Sweeney Todd's a really good
Mhm.
soundtrack for sure. Hamilton
Yeah.
is definitely one of those that it's like, yeah, I can see where you would like it, but my problem with Hamilton is it starts to sound the same the more you listen to it. A lot of the stuff starts to blend together really, really bad.
Never really struck me as one I'd go see, or even watch on Disney Plus.
You
I
need to
wa-
get
that was the
all
only way I
choir
watched it.
nerds after us. I swear.
Yeah, I know, and
I know.
yeah,
I
But
want
no.
on the record. I am not with them. I have I have music I listen to on that soundtrack.
oh no, I'm not saying there isn't good music on it. I'm just saying the problem I have with it is a lot of it does start to sound the same. If it does start to blend together, which I get it,
Oh,
it's the same show.
I'm
But
protecting my ass. That's what I'm at doing.
it's nothing
It's-
against Hamilton. I think Hamilton is a
Yeah.
great show. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I have
phenomenal.
nothing against it. It just didn't click with me to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it sometime down the line, but
Yeah.
at this current point in time, no.
If you got like 3 hours to kill, give it a watch. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I
I
enjoyed it. but it
I
took me
would
some
love
time.
to see the Broadway production of Sweeney Todd with Josh
Oh,
Groban
yeah.
playing Sweeney Todd. Holy
That'd
shit!
be good. That would be a good one,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
And then I can't remember his name. One of the kids from Stranger Things plays Toby.
Oh, is it the one that plays Dustin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that he's in a lot of stage plays. Yeah, that's his big thing.
He's playing
he
Toby
plays
in
Toby.
Sweeney
That's
Todd right now.
that's really, really good. Yeah, no, that's a good role for him, honestly.
And dude, I heard his rendition of I can't remember the song name. I have it on my playlist, which is cool.
This is the ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
No, it's not
No?
that
Okay,
one.
okay.
It's
'Cause that one's a
the
really good one.
yeah, that is a good one. It's
one of my favorites.
Not While I'm Around. His rendition
Oh,
of that is
yeah.
so beautifully done.
That's a really good song too. So,
It is. It's
yeah.
a great song. It's
Yeah.
definitely one of my favorites.
but we're primarily talking about movies, not necessarily musicals. So Sweeney Todd. That's the reason why I brought Sweeney Todd up. There is a really good movie rendition of the play. Also, I'm a horror nut, and I love gore, so obviously I had to watch Sweeney Todd. Come on, I'm a Tim Burton nut. I like Johnny Depp, all that other shit. You know, it
Yeah.
is like my wet dream come true in a musical movie. Take that as you will, but don't judge me for it.
all the judgment, all the time.
all
you-
judgment.
Allie-
all judgment all the time.
Allie, I'm used to judgment from you. This is not new stuff. But no, I
I like to keep you. I like to keep things consistent with you.
that's
Someone
fine.
has to.
I appreciate that.
Right?
There's one movie that I enjoyed the hell out of when I saw it in theaters, but afterwards I can't stand it anymore. Is shit, what was it? It was like it had Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in it.
La La Land.
La La Land. I loved La La Land the first time I saw it. And then I tried to rewatch it and it couldn't grasp my attention anymore. But that has a really good soundtrack. I loved that soundtrack for a long time. But yeah, no, playlist wise, I would argue out of all the Guardians films, I would say Guardians 3 had a really good playlist.
Guardians 3 had a really good one. Yeah.
I would
agree
still
with that.
argue that Guardians 2 had one of the better ones though. I think Guardians 2 playlist is way underrated. So
I could agree with that.
yeah.
I think the most iconic one would have to be Iron Man's playlist. The first one.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that on that one. That's a lot of heavy metal, that's a lot of metal and old school rock. So I'll give you that. No,
yeah,
that's
but
a really
like whenever you're dealing with AC/DC, you're kind of cheating.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, yeah, I agree with you on that.
True.
Well,
true.
okay, so but no, the only time where it's not cheating is Maximum Overdrive because the entire soundtrack is done by AC/DC, and that's one of the few where it's like they did okay.
Well, to be fair, I think there's some Pantera songs in SpongeBob. So
would not surprise me.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like you're gonna find like random metal bands just.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, you're talking to a metal guy. You got a Schecter guitar right behind me, so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm slowly dipping my toe into metal and theatrical and everything else. Like I'm loving Ice Nine Kills. They're the greatest. Their new song "Meet and Greet" is really, really, really good.
I haven't gotten a chance to listen to that one.
The video is pretty cool too. It's Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
yeah. So it's actually it's a weird combination, but it works so well. Like you have like hardcore piano with like a background bass, and then it starts doing the da da da. And it's like, oh shit, this is actually really fucking cool. And like the lyric mixing is where I'm kind of like, I love it and I hate it at the same time because it meshes and doesn't mesh with the music. It is such a chaotic song and I love it. It is so good.
Movie soundtracks.
Movie soundtracks. Yeah. No, I would love Ice Nine Kills to do a movie soundtrack. That'd be awesome.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna bring that up,
yeah.
I mean, how many times have I talked about Glory Hammer?
Glory Hammer.
That's
And then
like just some like rendition of a D&D like game or something like that. 100%.
They should have gotten Glory Hammer for Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves.
Oh, that would have been good.
Oh yeah.
However, that soundtrack, the particular song and the composition of the songs in that movie were actually very good.
Yeah, no, I would argue the music was great in that movie.
What I'm getting at is there needs to be a Glory Hammer movie because of the way their songs work.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I gotta say, I think the most iconic, at least for me from my childhood, would have to be Tarzan, Disney's Tarzan soundtrack.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I don't disagree with you there. All entirely done by Phil Collins. Not a bad soundtrack. I will not argue with that. However, I'll do you one better because it came out around the same time, and there was a little bit of Oscar drama between it. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Because both one of the songs from Tarzan and Blame Canada were nominated for Best Original Song for the Oscar. And
I
Phil
didn't
Collins
know
won
that.
Yeah, Phil
I
Collins
didn't know
won
that.
And so Trey Parker and Matt Stone actually they have an episode where they make fun of him. They go no holds barred back. They obliterate this dude on their show, and it's a little funny because it's like, well, that was a year that Robin Williams hosted the Oscars, and he started joining in on the song for Blame Canada. They had a whole segment with Blame Canada, and it was great. And it's like, come on, man, you got Robin Williams to sing the damn song. You couldn't give that song the Oscar, which, to be fair, is a better song. And like Phil Collins is great, but come on.
Yeah.
Honestly, the South Park, that movie did have a pretty interesting soundtrack in and of itself.
It did.
Yeah.
It definitely did.
What? Goddamn. What would Brian
What-
Boitano
Bro-
do?
What would Brian Boitano do? Absolutely, yeah. No, the freaking the combination song where it's Blame Canada, Tomorrow Night,
Yes.
Though You Die, Resistance Lives On. Yeah, that was actually a lot of good stuff. Yeah, that's my favorite song out of the entire thing. Even though, and of course, Up There is in there. That song's so fucking funny. It's a fucking 80s love ballad, and it's the devil singing it. Oh my god! Oh, good god! I gotta watch that movie again. That movie is hilarious.
It's been a while since I've actually watched that.
I have the movie.
Yes.
Like I have the physical copy of the movie. I love that movie.
Same here. Same.
Yeah.
It's got to be on like Hulu or something.
I don't think it's on Hulu, but if I'm not mistaken, they take it on and off Netflix all the freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, granted, shocker,
I
Netflix taking something on and off all the time.
I believe it's, if I remember correctly, Bigger, Badder, and Uncut is on Paramount Plus because a lot of their South Park
Yes, because
are going on Paramount.
I believe Comedy Central is owned by Paramount, and so technically Paramount owns the rights to it, even though HBO has a couple of the South Park specials. But now apparently there's a battle going on who gets the rights to all of that. So that's an interesting one. But no, I mean, like, and South Park always has decent songs. You know, I mean, for the entire first season, there was a song every episode.
Yeah.
You know? I still think my favorite one is the Halloween episode with Korn, and they're like the mystery gang. Oh my god!
I remember
it's like,
that episode.
Alrighty then, folks. Well, we're gonna go ahead and play our show. Ooh, it's like, oh my god! Yeah. And the entire townsfolk is like.
Wasn't there also an episode where the gang kind of makes like a metalcore band as well?
No, they make a
Christian rock band.
So
rock band.
It was Cartman Butters and Token who did the Christian rock band. The gang made a pan flute band.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the pan flute band episode.
They had to get Clyde. They brought Clyde in because Clyde had the money from his birthday. It was the one with the giant guinea pigs being the.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I don't remember that one, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, on to the. Do you guys have a favorite soundtrack from a movie at all?
I am very much partial to The Crow.
The Crow has a really good soundtrack. I will not argue with that. I need to rewatch it actually.
I bought it on Amazon. I can watch it anytime I want.
Lucky bitch.
It's been a while since I've watched The Crow. It's been a while.
The first one still holds up. The sequels do not.
Well, it depends on the attitude you have going into them. Like going into them, basing your judgments on them based on the first one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like going in them as they're their own standalone. Yeah. Because they kind of have to be. They
do, and I think they follow a different character who becomes the Crow, if I'm not mistaken.
Every time.
Yeah. So
and each time they add a little bit more to the
lore
mythos.
And every mythos. Yeah. No, I'm actually excited about they're doing a remake with Bill Skarsgård.
That'll be interesting.
Would be.
Do another sequel. Don't do a remake.
Well, originally they were going to do a remake with Jason Momoa as the Crow, which I think it was not a terrible choice, but both Jason Momoa opted out because of scheduling, and the director opted out because of creative differences with the studio.
Okay,
so we will never see that. But there's test footage out there of like Momoa in the outfit and the full makeup and everything.
He definitely has the attitude and the hair for it.
No, he shaved his beard and everything. I mean, like, he had the look down. It was actually kind of scary. But no, I think Bill Skarsgård's a good choice. He's actually been bulking up for a lot of other roles. So
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I think he's a really good choice. The only person I think that would have probably worked better would have been Alexander, his brother, because I feel like Alexander has the more like structured face for it. Because Bill's is kind of squished. Alexander's is more square and like chiseled down. But
again, my trepidation is do a sequel, not a remake. Leave the original alone, please.
Well, I don't think it's like an outright. It's gonna be Eric Craven again. I don't think it's gonna be him. I think they're gonna do another character, but they're calling it a remake because they're kind of sort of. It's another revenge tale, which is fine. That's the whole point of The Crow. Is it's supposed to be a person that never got revenge.
That is the Crow in a nutshell.
Yeah, exactly. So, John, you got a favorite soundtrack from a movie?
Oh boy, I am gonna have to give it because I still listen to the soundtrack. Like even if like I'm just like okay, I just want to listen to something a little different. I'll listen to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
That's a really
yeah.
good soundtrack. Yeah.
It's just if you just feel like okay, I just want to feel like I'm in a meadow, just listen to Concerning Hobbits.
Yeah, exactly.
Just listen to that for a while. And,
no, I'll listen to that while I'm reading.
I love using the Lord of the Rings soundtrack for D&D.
It's really, really good. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't.
But I was also thinking about the Treasure Planet soundtrack.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a really good one. I will
yes,
agree with you on
yes.
that.
Like, honestly, one of the most underrated movies.
I totally
so
agree
good.
with you.
The
It's
writing
one of
is a
my
little
favorites.
confusing as to how some of the world building is a little janky, but other than that, it's still an insanely creative movie for basically a sci-fi retelling of
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I think honestly, if there's anything that could work in live action, I feel like Treasure Planet would work incredibly well in live action.
Yeah,
You
with
do
a
a
bit of
good
a rewrite. Yeah.
Yeah, with a bit of a rewrite. Honestly, I feel like Matthew Vaughn would do a really good job with it. You know, the guy, he did Kingsman. A good example of how he could do sci-fi fantasy is go watch Stardust. That is essentially an entirely creative.
That is such a good movie.
It's such a good movie. Yeah.
I read the book first.
I figured there was a fucking book. I was like, there's no way somebody came up with this on their own unless they were high.
Right.
And then, of course, there's a book. Of course, there's a book. You know, like, of course, why not? But it's a really underrated
How do you think half
movie,
of Stephen King's stuff comes about? Like,
that's true. Yeah. No, actually, funny enough, speaking of Stephen King properties, it's not a movie, but it's a show. Castle Rock, its first season has a really good soundtrack too. It comes and goes, but it gives you that sense of unease, and there's also a sense of like you get a sense of what time period you're going into because there's a lot of flashbacks, and it's interesting. I would highly recommend the first season of Castle Rock. Second season I started, it's okay. It's very rocky starting off, but I heard it goes really well. Oh, that means it is almost 10 o'clock because his lights went out. So, haha, no backlighting for me. Yay! Now I look even more pale and decrepit.
we're talking about soundtracks from a show. I definitely listen to the Outlander soundtrack a lot.
Outlanders is a really good one. I will agree with you. No, Into the Badlands had a really good soundtrack too.
It did, and that was great. I loved that show. That was a great show.
I never finished it. I got maybe half. No, I got a little over halfway with season 3, and then I stopped watching.
I think there's only 3 or 4 seasons.
I think there's 4. I think they wrapped it up with the 4th one. I loved the first season.
It's left on a cliffhanger.
Oh, of course it is. It's AMC. They cancel shows on a whim unless it's The Walking Dead.
Oh, so Netflix.
It's on Netflix for now.
Yeah, AMC and Netflix are like this though. They've yet to get rid of Breaking Bad. They've yet to get rid of The Walking Dead or any of their spinoffs. So yeah, no. I think it's there to stay.
Yeah. But no, that was a good one. Other than Tarzan, as a DJ myself, it's like I listen to a lot of music anyway. So
yeah.
I'd definitely say 2 of my favorite soundtracks, same people or same person, I should say. School of Rock and Tenacious D: The Pick of Destiny.
There you go. It's a Jack Black movie. Obviously, you're gonna have some good music in there. No, those are always good. I mean, Tenacious D as a whole has really, really good songs. Yeah, absolutely. Even though Tenacious D: Pick of Destiny is a fucking stoner comedy, and I love it.
Oh yeah. I even like the School of Rock TV show. Their music.
There's a TV show?
Yeah, they made a TV show. It's actually really well done. It was on Nickelodeon for a while.
I remember that.
It actually was really well done. Surprisingly.
Yeah. I remember them saying, a lot of people saying it was pretty underrated, but
It's really funny. The actor that plays Shibli makes a Jack Black joke. And it's a Halloween episode, and he's dressed as Jack Black.
the meta has gotten so far that it's actually causing me confusion and headaches. But no, like back on the films, I would definitely not argue that School of Rock has a really good soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But no, one of the I still am a big fan of Baby Driver. Baby Driver has a really good sound. From what I've been told, Last Night in Soho has a really good soundtrack.
Okay.
That's Edgar Wright's horror movie, basically, like outright horror. I still have yet to watch it, and it's on HBO, and it's on my list. I haven't had the time to sit down and watch it. But no, I would argue that even there are some good Marvel movies other than Guardians that have really good soundtracks. You mentioned Iron Man. I have a feeling that the first Spider-Man had a pretty good soundtrack with Tom Holland.
Okay,
Had
so
a really good soundtrack.
Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming. I feel like Homecoming had a really good soundtrack. I feel like they kind of dropped it off with Far From Home and No Way Home. They didn't really kind of bring back any of those like music segments and everything, which kind of saddened me. I was like, damn, that was one of the better parts of the first movie.
You would have thought that they would have brought back for at least Far From Home, No Way Home, because they brought in previous Spider-Man, they could have totally used from the soundtrack for San Raimi, the song Hero.
They could have used that. I don't disagree with you. However, it is still ultimately Tom's movie, so that's why they didn't.
Also, that song is already connected to a Spider-Man.
That's true.
Joey Maguire's.
Yeah. I still think they could have spun it in a way that it would have worked for all three. I think.
That's fair.
Maybe, but it's still one of those moments of this Spider-Man.
I figured out. I figured out my actual other favorite. My bad. I don't know why it blanked on me. I actually just recently rewatched it. It's technically cheating, but Rocket Man has a phenomenal fucking soundtrack. Oh my god, is that soundtrack good? I mean, it's Elton John. What do you expect? But like,
you can't go wrong listening to Elton John. Anyway.
And the thing is, it's not just Elton John's. It is Taron Egerton doing the voice. And like he's doing the singing and everything, and it's you can tell it's Taron Egerton. Like you can tell it's not Elton John, obviously, but no,
but he has such a good voice. Like
he does.
When I first heard him singing, it was in the movie Sing.
I'm Still Standing, and I think that's honestly what kind of was. I think that was kind of his audition reel for. It's like, hey, I can sing an Elton John song. I did it in an animated movie. Give me the fucking role. And he's like, I've also worked with Elton John on Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Give me the fucking role.
But he's a brilliant singer.
Oh, dude, he's phenomenal. He's got some pipes on him. I'll give him that. But it's such a good. I love that movie. I think it's far better than Bohemian Rhapsody. And I believe Bohemian Rhapsody should have had the guts to be what Rocket Man was, which is that it does kind of blend the music segments in with real life. It's not just, oh, we're going to stop and do a music segment. No, it blends into whatever the story is going on. And it makes it flow so smoothly. It's not as choppy as I would argue Bohemian Rhapsody was. That had some big pacing issues, for my opinion. And I love the music from that too. Queen it's a good soundtrack, but I feel like it also should have been. It should have had the guts to be rated R. Like I remember the whole reason originally before Rami Malek got on, it was going to be Sacha Baron Cohen playing Freddie Mercury, and he was arguing to make it rated R. And if you look at Sacha Baron Cohen with a mustache and look at Freddie Mercury, the fucking similarities are dead on. It's uncanny.
It's just because I love his music. I haven't watched the movie yet, but the Weird Al movie.
I've yet to see it too. I heard it's actually not really about his life. It's all a parody of like these biopic epics. And I think what they said was,
that's how Weird Al is. So
exactly,
doing that just kind of makes it truly Weird Al.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think what they were doing is because Madonna's in there, and she apparently starts dating Weird Al in the movie, and I think he was trying to make fun of Dennis Rodman a little bit. That's what a lot of people are theorizing. He's like, "Oh, dude, if I'm gonna throw Madonna in there, I got to make fun of Dennis Rodman,"
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah,
I don't
basically
know,
put me in
that-
his shoes.
Like that movie had a pretty stacked cast.
Oh, dude, it had a really
and Daniel
it's a
Radcliffe
shame.
as playing
Yeah.
Weird Al himself. That
I
like,
was really
that
I
was
was really
crazy.
against it until I saw him, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
no, he's got it. I'll give
yeah,
him that. I was like,
I thought it was a weird choice too.
yeah,
But then when I saw the trailer, seeing him dressed up as Weird Al, I was like, okay.
yeah. Even though he's like oddly ripped for Weird Al, which Weird Al was always skinny, but he was never like ripped.
Right?
Yeah, I was like, and so that's why when somebody told me it's not really the true life of real Weird Al, it's a parody. I'm like, oh, that makes too much sense. Because then I go back and watch the trailer, I'm like, I see it. I see it's supposed to be
Right?
a parody, and
Mhm.
it's so well done.
It's a parody on his life. And
Exactly, it's a parody on biopics as a whole.
yeah.
So that's phenomenal, and I love that Daniel doesn't even try to embody Weird Al. It's just Weird Al's voice whenever he's singing. It's literally, like, because like you can hear him like mumbling, and then he goes, "My Bologna," and it's Weird Al's voice, and I'm like, oh my god.
I think the Lion King does that too. Like the singer
CG
for
one?
Sim. No,
The original.
I think the original, like the singer for Simba, was different than the actual voice
Both the
actor.
kid and the adults. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
It was just
A
somebody
lot
different.
a lot of Disney movies were actually like that.
Yeah. Hell, Anastasia did that too, because Christopher Lloyd couldn't sing his song segment, the I'll be the Tsar of all Russia or whatever. And they actually got a guy who does really good impressions. He came in and he also did the same. So he came in and finished the song because Lloyd started it, but his vocals went out. And he couldn't hit the notes that they wanted, so they brought him in, and he did a really good rendition of it, and like you would still think it's Lloyd. And he did the same thing with Jeremy Irons in The Lion King. He actually finishes that song.
They also did it too with Quest for Camelot.
Oh yeah, no, but that one's a little obvious. It's not originally Carrie Elways singing that. Even I know that. I'm like, that's not Carrie Elways. There's no way.
Well, they did it. I think they did it with each actor.
Would not surprise me at all.
Each one that had a song to sing, I believe it was a different actor singing.
Most likely, it wouldn't surprise me.
Like unless you're like listening really closely, you can't really tell.
Yeah,
but
they blended okay enough. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, no. I mean, there's so many good movies. I would argue. I mean, really, it's cheating with any musical movie. Little Shop of Horrors has a really good soundtrack. Yeah.
Well,
I would love a remake.
You mentioned Elton John earlier. I thought of El Dorado.
El Dorado is a really good soundtrack too.
That's another.
It's tough to be a god as a fucking
Oh my
earworm.
gosh.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Listen to the version from Caleb Hayes and Jonathan Young of it.
Yes.
Such an amazing version. It's great.
I'm big fans of Jonathan Young. Like for real. They
same.
also do Prince of Egypt songs, which
Prince of Egypt has a really good soundtrack too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the movie,
that movie's
but
so
I like
underrated.
I like the songs.
Yeah.
I like the song. I wasn't too big of a fan of the movie, but the music in it was amazing.
I think the movie is severely underrated. Don't get me wrong, it has its issues, but it is severely underrated for how it does like epic storytelling. I mean, it is the Ten Commandments, obviously, but it is a really, really good movie. Highly recommended if you've never seen it.
Because when I saw it, I was younger, so
yeah, I didn't like it as much as I was when I was younger.
But
if
I watched it now, I think I'd
love it
a lot more. Yeah.
No, I didn't really appreciate it until I rewatched it as an adult. But I always liked it as a kid. But yeah, no, I mean, it just came down to like Megamind has a really good soundtrack.
It really does.
Yeah, it does.
Like it oddly enough does. It's like, it never comes to be the first one in mind, but if someone brings it up, they're like, everyone's like, oh yeah, it does have a good soundtrack. And I'm like, there you go. Yeah.
Hate the movie. I'm like, you guys know me. I'm not a big fan of Will Ferrell. I don't care for that movie. I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack of that movie is really good.
I'm not a fan of Will Ferrell either, but I still really enjoyed the movie.
John, you're my last man on the front. Please tell me you're a Will Ferrell fan.
It depends. It depends on the day. Like,
Yeah.
just there's some stuff I like of his, some stuff I don't. It's just
Elf is like that borderline of where it almost makes me hate him.
Yeah.
I got
Elf,
sick
he's
of Elf.
just yeah.
I
do
got
too.
sick of Elf because my sister loves that movie, and when she was younger, she'd watch it every fucking day.
Same reason a lot of parents hate the movie Frozen, because it just got replayed over and over.
Oh, Elf was on that list too. I guarantee it.
100%.
A lot of the adults now were kids when the movie came out, so of course they still have nostalgia for it. It's the same reason why Jim Carrey's Grinch is considered a really good one, and I'm like, it is and it isn't. Like, the makeup is really well done, but I have so many issues with that movie. I still will watch it, but like, I got my issues with it. No, like oh shit, you brought up fucking so many animated movies in general.
I'm a big animated fan. Like Western animation, big fan of that. Like I'm really getting into Legend of Vox Machina right now, and I'm really excited for season 3. Soundtrack on that's even great. It's super awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they'll do with the Mighty Nine when they finally do that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. Yes. Oh man, me and
he is one of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I told you this.
Yeah, I met Christian up in at a Dallas Fan Festival, and I was doing a Caleb cosplay.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't get it, but like, I'm sure I will eventually. And yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, and then your girlfriend was doing Keelith from Keelith from, I don't know why I keep saying Keelith. Anyways, from Keelith from Vox Machina. And you guys actually got to be on their Instagram page, by the way, Fan Expo Dallas.
Yeah. Like, we got there, and immediately somebody just pulled us to the side and was just like, "Hey, can we get a picture for like the page?" And we were like, "Yeah."
You guys did a really good job. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they finally would post the freaking the last day, because Hannah and I went to last day, and we did the red carpet, and we went as Star-Lord and Gamora, and I'm hoping that they posted our photo, but I have a feeling they probably did not. They posted Drax, they did not post us. Yeah, that freaking sucks, but there's always next time. So alrighty then. Trying to think what else has a really good soundtrack. Look at my wall of movies over here.
Yeah. Orchestra wise, I would definitely say the most iconic would have to be Star Wars with John Williams.
That's iconic for a whole different list of reasons, and you also brought up Lord of the Rings. That's orchestra music. We're talking about like playlist soundtrack kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, you could always say Avatar or Harry Potter or something like that.
Anything with John Williams, Hans Zimmer. Who's another one?
I don't know.
Alan Silvestri.
Alan
Silvestri has some really good ones. Honestly, I would argue terrible movie. Well, not terrible, but anywhere but decent movie, but great soundtrack is fucking Van Helsing. Has a phenomenal orchestral soundtrack. That Alan Silvestri score is fucking phenomenal. And it, like, the music, it tries to make certain scenes really epic, even though it's not. Like, there's an epic Alan Silvestri score to Van Helsing walking down the damn street. And it's like, it's actually really cool.
Apparently, I need to watch this now.
You've never seen Van Helsing?
No.
It has Hugh Jackman in it.
That's pretty solid.
I'm aware.
It's a good one. It's decent. It's goofy fun. It's what's his name? He directed The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Oh, I don't remember.
I forget his name, but he did Van Helsing, and it honestly kind of ruined his career because he was so adamant on it, and he also co-wrote it, if I'm not mistaken, and it did not end well. It has Faramir in there.
Another really good soundtrack. At least the first one. I don't remember about 2, 3, and 4, but Men in Black.
Men in Black has a decent soundtrack. I would not disagree with you on that. Their soundtrack's not half bad. Bad Boys has a pretty decent soundtrack. I'll give it
Bad
that.
Boys is a good one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to bring up a movie that's just like it has like one like really iconic song from a really iconic band, but like Big Hero 6 had some pretty good had like the Immortals
Big Hero 6
song
has
that
some
was
good
really
one.
good, and they also had like some of the good like compositions. But,
Oh
like,
yeah,
everyone's just like, oh yeah, Immortals, that was an awesome song. It's like name another song on that soundtrack.
I couldn't name it for you, but if I heard it, I'd be like, oh, that's from Big Hero 6. It has such a unique identity on it.
Yeah, now
it's
just
the same with
for sure.
It's the same with Shrek too.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the same thing with Shrek.
I would argue Shrek 2 had the better soundtrack. Shrek 2, in general, is the better movie.
Shrek 2, yeah, definitely. Definitely had.
I will die on this. Anybody disagrees with me, I'll fucking fight you.
Careful, folks. He's serious.
I don't know, like he was saying, it's like a lot of animated movies have pretty decent soundtracks.
Yeah, no.
And it makes sense if you think about it, because animated movies have to have something to get people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all like you already have like the voiceover actors, you know, trying to bring these 2D or 3D animations to life, and then you also have to have the music in the background, and you can really just kind of tailor your visuals to your background music as well. So I mean, it just makes it all mesh a lot easier, I think.
I definitely say one of my favorites has to be Tangled, I See the Light. That was beautifully done, and the visual for that whole scene is
really hard to go wrong with Disney.
Done.
Yeah. I would argue that Disney has a shitload of earworms in their library. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Well, do you want to know why it's so hard to go wrong with Disney?
Because
they already go wrong themselves.
They go wrong in so many ways, and then they go right in music.
Exactly. No. Another really good one would be if we're gonna go back to TV shows that have really good needle drops. I would argue Stranger Things has a really good needle drop after the first season. I don't think the first season has any needle drops, honestly. Like it has a couple, but it's more of like background music. You know, like the "Should I Stay or Should I Go" was in there. But no, I would argue season 4 had some really good needle drops. This last season had some phenomenal ones. Like you have Psycho Killer, you have Master of Puppets, you have obviously Kate Bush, you know, you have Running Up the Hill. You have so many good needle drops in this last season.
Favorite scene has to be when Dustin sings The Never Ending Story.
That's from season 3. That's a really good one. I wouldn't argue that. That is good. That is a good needle drop.
That song.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, Neverending Story had a pretty good soundtrack too.
Yeah. At least the first one. I
never watched the third one. I never knew there was a third one, to be perfectly honest. I knew there was
two. The third one, I remember I grew up watching the third one before I even watched 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So the third one was actually my favorite. But
you know, I'll tell you something that'll blow your mind. I'll tell you something that'll blow your mind. Jack Black was in the third one.
He what? I have to watch it again.
Yeah, he was. It was a young Jack Black. He was the leader of the Nasties.
I was about to say he was one of the Nasties, wasn't he?
That was young Jack Black.
Holy
shit you not. That was young Jack Black.
I'm gonna have to watch that again. Holy shit! I haven't watched that.
It might ruin your perception of that movie, but okay, you go ahead.
It probably will. It probably will.
The third one is considered one of the worst because at least the second one had some like decent moments in it. It still had some sheer stupidity, but I remember watching the second one. I liked it enough.
I liked the second one,
and it had what's his name? He killed himself. He played the kid.
I don't remember.
Oh fuck! What was his name?
I don't know. If all we're going off of is he killed himself.
Hold on.
I never wrote it down.
Dark joke, but it had to be made.
Jonathan Brandis.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought of you know, I haven't heard anything about the soundtracks of like 2 or 3, but Pitch Perfect, the first
Pitch Perfect has a really good soundtrack.
A really good lineup and a really good soundtrack, I think. So.
I don't disagree with you on that. However, like you could argue Moulin Rouge has a really good soundtrack if that's the case, because those are jukebox musicals basically.
Again, musicals.
Right. Yeah. We're back on musicals. That's
shocker of all shocks. You know.
Yeah.
No,
but it's hard to talk about music soundtracks and not bring up musicals.
Yeah.
Okay?
I would like to point out I haven't brought up a single musical.
Well, Allie, you're Allie. That's a different story.
That's
okay. I was a choir geek.
I know. I was too. I was in choir for 4 years. Trust me, I know.
I came from a town too small to have a choir.
There you go.
We had a choir, never did it. Kind of regret it now. Looking back, kind of regret it now, but it is.
I regret not interacting more with theater, because I was also in theater as well. I regret that, but no, I mean, like, a really good soundtrack if you're into that kind of weird of course it's like midnight showing stuff, and I'm about to make Allie giggle. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
That's got a pretty killer soundtrack. Come on, let's do the Time Warp again. Is fucking phenomenal.
Oh god,
Meatloaf,
I can't tell you how many times I've had that song requested.
The Hot Patootie Bless My Soul or Time Warp?
Both.
Oh, those are my two favorite songs from that. Time Warp is iconic. Hot Patootie is
Time Warp
phenomenal.
is very iconic.
Yeah, I love Hot Patootie Bless My Soul. It's got that. It's such a different vibe, and I love that part of the movie as well. It's done really well, because it's like it's a very upbeat song, and it just ends with Frankenfurter fucking massacring this dude, and I'm like, holy shit! You want to talk about tone shift? Like that movie is so weird.
And he just like breaks the fourth wall and.
Oh my god, yes! That movie, I want to watch it again, but then again, I don't.
Right.
It's one of those. It's like I don't want to torture myself, but I also want to see it because Tim Curry is great in that.
I made the mistake of watching that on my college campus for the first time.
Oh,
everybody was shouting at the screen the whole time, and I was like, I don't want. Mom, can I go home?
Yeah. No. I always wanted to go to a midnight showing of it. Too bad nobody does the midnight showings anymore. But no, I always wanted to go to one, but I was too young when they were still doing them. Like I was like 5 or 6 when they were still doing them.
A
didn't
friend
even know
of
what
mine,
it was.
When he just graduated from college not too long ago, their school did a production of Rocky Horror.
Yes, I love school production of Rocky Horror. It's really well done.
And he played Frankenfurter.
That's a role I would love to play. Is just Frankenfurter. I think I would kill for it, because Just a Sweet Transvestite is one of my favorite songs from that soundtrack as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my 3 favorites: Time Warp, Sweet Transvestite, and obviously Hot Patootie.
Yeah.
Touch Me, I Want to Feel Dirty is getting on my list a little bit too. I like that song. It's entertaining. But Damn It Janet, which I think is the first song of the entire, it's one of my least favorite songs. I'm sorry, I cannot stand Damn It Janet. It goes on too long. That's my only problem.
You bring up Rocky Horror, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's another TV show, and they did an episode about Rocky Horror. Was Glee? Glee had a rock,
yeah, no. But I mean,
I would argue Glee belongs in the same category as musicals.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely is.
I agree.
Well, I mean, Moulin Rouge is a jukebox musical, and it's also one of my least favorite Ewan McGregor movies as well. There's one really good rendition of Roxanne in that movie. That is the one section I love from that movie, is their Roxanne segment. It is
one of the favorite sections.
Yeah. Everything else is just okay. It's way too over the top. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the first time they go into the Moulin Rouge. I love that song where it's Teenage Spirit and some other song mashed together, and it's done really well. But no, Moulin Rouge is not my favorite. It's actually, and of course, shocker of all shockers, it's a Baz Luhrmann film. I love and hate a lot of his movies. Like, I cannot stand his version of Great Gatsby. That's the one with Leo DiCaprio, and great cast, cannot stand that movie. I hate that movie. The music in it just does not mesh well at all. And I heard he does something kind of similar with Elvis in the Elvis movie that he just recently did,
Mhm.
but I don't entirely know. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe it turns out okay. Like I like that Doja Cat song where it's the "You're Nothing But a Dog," and I'm like, okay, that one's pretty good. I like it, but whatever.
The Aristocats.
Yes.
It's just Oliver Twist, but okay.
No.
No, Aristocats. No, I'm thinking.
You're thinking
Oliver
and Company.
Oliver,
which
Company,
also has a great soundtrack.
Also,
that does have a really good soundtrack. Yeah.
Why should you worry?
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Great soundtrack.
Yes, phenomenal original soundtrack. I still listen to a lot of tracks from that. Threshold is one of my favorites, and the "We Are Sex Bomb" those are my two favorite songs from that movie entirely.
Right.
Just because one is that one is the best fucking opening to a movie I've ever seen, and then the other one is Threshold is one of my favorite segments from that movie as well. Because it's like they're doing DJs versus a grunge band, which is perfect for a music death battle. I love that.
Right.
Yeah, and plus you get two techno dragons versus an electric gorilla. Come on.
Yeah.
What's not to love?
Right.
I hope they do newer songs for the animated one.
Me too. I
would love to see
really
what they
ones.
do. Yeah. But I mean, also to see how they would do it in animation with those songs as well would be pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah. The first actually has a pretty good soundtrack.
Bumblebee had a pretty good soundtrack too, actually.
Yeah,
Bumblebee had a decent one.
Had a good one.
Yeah. John, you got any other ones?
Oh man, I'm trying to think right now.
Yeah.
I know. There's a lot of good ones.
The only thing I can think of is a movie that actually doesn't have a soundtrack, but it does have a song in it that I know, and it's just funny that it's even there. And it's from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. he goes into the concert venue, and Cannibal Corpse is just playing the death metal band, and just playing I think they're playing Hammer Smash Face. I think that's the song that they're playing. But it's just really funny to see Jim Carrey just getting up there and just making noise.
That was hilarious.
The Mask has a fun soundtrack.
Oh, The Mask has a phenomenal soundtrack. I always forget about The Mask soundtrack. That's like even the director said like he wanted to have like a nightclub swingers vibe to the soundtrack because The Mask is activated at night, so he wanted the city to come alive at night.
Yeah.
And the music helps that. And I love that sound. That soundtrack's so damn good.
My favorite scene to this day is still the cop scene. Cuban Pete.
Oh, the Cuban Pete. Cuban Pete is everybody's favorite. I'm
partial to that the quote unquote death scene in the club.
Oh, you shot me, partner.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's freaking hilarious.
Little yellow rat.
Acting wise,
I will be coming home this Christmas.
Acting wise, that is definitely my favorite scene.
What I love.
Hey, they gave him an award in the movie.
Yeah, it's the closest he's ever going to get to an Oscar. No matter how hard he tries.
Damn.
Hey, I love Jim Carrey, but that's the closest he's ever going to get to an Oscar. He's even made that joke.
You're not wrong.
He was one of the hosts, or he was one of the like award givers, basically. And he's like,
Yeah,
it's okay.
I
Yeah, he's like, it's okay. It's an honor just to be nominated. Oh. No, actually, what's funny is he hosted the Oscars the weekend Liar Liar came out, and that movie blew up. So he literally came out and he's like, "So, how was your weekend?" Just I love Jim Carrey. He's got such a freaking personality. But no,
he
go back and watch that quote unquote death scene. You will, if you look in the background, you see whatever his name is. I think it's Adrian. He's the main gangster. You see him fixing his hair when he realizes he's on the camera.
Yeah.
And that's such a great minor detail that nobody picks up on. And it's so funny. Because he's like... It's just... Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I love that. But no, that's a really good soundtrack. I always forget about The Mask. Son of the Mask has a terrible soundtrack, and you can't tell me
We're not talking about that movie.
Movie does not exist.
What movie?
Exactly. It follows along the same line as the movie I shall not name because it tarnishes a very beloved TV series.
Oh, you talk about M. Night Shyamalan's?
Shut up. We don't speak of that.
M. Night Shyamalan's?
Shalamalama Ding Dong?
Shalamalama Ding Dong?
Anyway, the movie I was going to bring up, because the movie's actually right in front of me, Princess Bride has a great soundtrack.
Princess Bride has a good orchestral soundtrack. I will give you that. Yeah, that is a really good musical score. No, if we're gonna go by 80s musical scores, then fuck it. Ghostbusters has a phenomenal score.
Mm-hmm.
They have such iconic ones. Like anytime I hear that piano riff, the da 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 da, I'm like, it's Ghostbusters. Even I can hear it anywhere. I'd be like, oh, somebody's playing Ghostbusters. You know, just
right.
Yeah, it has such iconic, and of course, obviously has that iconic Ghostbusters song. But that's not my. I actually kind of don't like the song, honestly. It's iconic, yes, and I will listen to it. But honestly, I've listened to it so much as a kid, I kind of don't like it. But if you want to talk about a good like parody movie that has a really good soundtrack,
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. You read my mind, Allie. Spaceballs. Spaceballs is a really good parody soundtrack. Yeah, I will not disagree.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. Come on.
Robin Hood Men in Tights is a really good sound. It's dated by its soundtrack too, but it is really funny. I do love that. Yeah. At you. Bless you. Oh man. Yeah.
Definitely some of Mel Brooks' films don't age well, but
no, honestly, that's actually his worst. I honestly would argue Men in Tights is one of his worst movies, but it's still funny. I still laugh my ass off at it.
Oh yeah.
I would argue Blazing Saddles has a fucking hilarious soundtrack. I love that soundtrack.
It does.
Yeah, that's a really good Mel Brooks soundtrack, honestly.
Mel Brooks and Weird Al should do a movie together.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, I would kill for that. That would be phenomenal.
That'd be I don't know what it'd be about, but I would go watch it.
Hear me out. Adam Sandler, Weird Al, Mel Brooks, and what's his name? And you get the Wayans back. Make all four of them, or I guess 5 technically, or really 6 because there's 3 Wayans brothers. You get all 6 of them to do a movie.
Oh,
and make it a parody about Hollywood as a whole, and you have a fucking gold mine. Oh my god, that would be awesome. Let Mel Brooks and Weird Al write it. Oh man, you have a gold mine on your hands.
Now I haven't seen it yet, but there's I'm gonna bring up another animated movie. But I was surprised they brought back Metalocalypse. They just made another movie.
They just made a movie, yeah.
The new Death album is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. Death Clock.
Yeah, honestly, I've been jamming out to Aortic Desecration ever since it came out, so.
I'm not going to lie. The thing that made me fall in love with Death Clock was Bat Metal.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I was honestly listening to it before that, but that
better. No, I knew what Metalocalypse was, but I didn't really like it. And then I finally figured out, that's all the same people. And I'm like, and I started watching it, and it is so fucking funny.
And what's even funnier is I just saw Death Clock in concert.
Oh, yeah?
And the funniest thing is they opened for a Japanese metal band called Baby Metal.
There you go.
They called it the Baby Clock Tour. And literally watching Death Clock play is like watching an episode or several episodes of Metalocalypse.
Oh yeah, no,
it's so funny.
They have such a creative control over that, and yeah. What's the number one thing to get the person who has everything? Nothing. You just you guys suck. It's just
release the kitties.
Oh man, no, we could talk about metal. We could talk.
That could be a whole episode right there.
Oh yeah, whole SnodaReel. But speaking of which, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
We have been going longer than I think you usually do with these.
Oh yeah, no, this is a really long one for sure. Granted, it's not the longest. Leon was part of the longest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's got quite a bit of views, if I remember correctly.
It's got some decent views out of the SnodaReels. But anyways, this has been SnodaReels And I've been your host, Black Chef 56. I've been joined by HungryHufflepuff, aka Ali.
Behave, mortals. I'm watching you.
Fuck you and go fuck yourself. Anyway,
Piss off.
fuck you. And of course, we were also joined by DJ Lionheart, aka Leon.
Let us know in the comments what topics you guys want us to see. And as always, stay nerdy.
I was so scared you weren't going to say it this time.
Exactly. I got nervous too. All right. And we were, of course, also joined by Watsonandoff, aka John. So.
It's like Rushton.
Yeah, there we go. That works. That's a thing.
That's good night, friends, in Scottish Gaelic. I don't know.
Oh, that works. Hey,
I don't know.
You know, I mean, my thing is I quote a random movie quote, so there you go. I don't even have one right now. Oh, wait, hold on. No, I do.
Shame on you.
Hold on. I got one. It's like, shit, what was it? It's like, don't shoot him. He'll only make him mad. So I have been Black Shad 56, and we will see you all later.
Take care.
Hello everyone, this once again is BlackChat56. If you like these videos, be sure to check out the playlist for SnodaReels. And of course, if you want to get some less in-depth thought processes on other topics, be sure to check out the podcast. We'll be dropping episodes every Saturday. Thank you all. Be good people.